introduced to Stephanie and myself. Before I go too much farther, I will tell you, if you have your phone, you have the LinkedIn app, please connect with me. Please connect with Stephanie. You have Twitter. I'm at @ahotling, so please connect, follow me. You have a Twitter handle you want to share?
Mine is SKELLY, Wrights, WRITES. Stephanie, there's a common name. There's a lot of Stephanies.
So we've split this presentation up into two halves. I'll get to talk to you guys about why mobile is important, and Stephanie's going to talk to you about one of the opportunities we use to help our advertisers in that space. So I'm going to take you through a quick exercise. Yes, I'm going to make you exercise. I'm sorry that you're eating right now, but I'll have to make you stop for just a second. An overview of the mobile consumer activity and the meaning of local, and then Stephanie will talk about how we kind of attack it. So for our exercise, everybody ready for some jumping jacks? Yeah? Ready? All right. I need you to stand up. I really need you to stand up. Okay. You can sit down if you used your cell phone as an alarm clock this morning. Okay. I got over half the room on that, just one thing. That's pretty good. All right. If you've sent a text to somebody today. Just me and you? This is where we're just...
I didn't do it.
You're okay, we're okay. You performed a search on your phone? No? All right, this is getting challenging. Opened or used an app. Did you get on Facebook today?
No.
Weather, maps?
Email from work.
Viewed an email. Gotcha. All right, so I didn't get to the last one, right? No. Last one is called someone. So everybody sat down before we even got to what a cell phone's supposed to be for, right? Right. So these devices have really changed the way we kind of communicate now, right? Doesn't matter whether it's work, home, family, friends, how you shop, right? How you stay in touch with everybody. These little devices, your challenge when it comes to your business is how do you get people to pull them out of their purse or wallet, right, so that they can see your marketing message so that they're engaged with you and your business. You guys probably can't hear that. So my question to you is, have these devices become kind of a Pavlovian response to them, right? If you feel it buzz, if you hear a sound, if it twerps, tweets, right? Any of those noises, do you feel the urge to go grab your phone right away and see what's going on? Can anybody resist it? Who can resist it? You've got the power to resist it? For how long?
It goes on mute in the other room sometimes. Yeah.
You can resist it? Mm-hmm. So if I took your phone away for a day, you'd be all right? You'd let me? I'm not answering your email or doing any of your work. I'd just be taking. All right. So they've kind of become a pure addiction, right? When you look at rehab centers, it's one of the fastest types of rehabs that's growing right now is for cell phone use, right? The average person in the United States picks up, checks their phone, you ready for this? On average, 1,500 times a week. 1,500 times a week.
Average.
On average. On average. So it doesn't matter their age, doesn't matter their gender, doesn't matter the type of phone or device they have. There's pretty much a real strong attraction to those cell phones across all of those. And when it comes to the anxiety level, once again, it doesn't matter who you are or what's going on. You're probably going to feel a little bit anxious, except for you. If I were to take your phone away for a day, an hour even, could anybody go 15 minutes without it? I mean, how many people are just ready to admit they need help? Anybody? We've got people like that. Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you? Go ahead and have a seat. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having us.
We are a marketing research company, so I need to collect your phone so you can't take pictures, can't Instagram, can't tweet about things. Thank you. Go ahead and put your safety goggles on at this time. Yes. Okay.
It's my phone.
Yeah. What was your reaction when I threw your phone in the wood chipper?
A little bit lost.
It's scary.
It's kind of terrifying how many things are connected to my phone. And I want to punch you in the face.
How does it feel to not be connected?
My chest hurts.
Broke.
I feel like I'm in a pioneer days or something.
Why do you think that is?
Because you're so connected with it. Like, I have to have it on me at all times.
Well, let me ease your mind when I give you your phones back.
You guys are.
What color
I'm fine. I know we don't.
Everyone can breathe now.
So how does that feel?
Yeah, much better. Much better.
Sigh of relief.
What's more important, the phone or having the connection?
The connection.
I don't want to disconnect. I live in this modern age and I'm very happy with it.
Now you want to see a better way to keep connected?
All right.
This is the 2016 Chevy Cruze.
Cruise offers built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi.
With a reliable connection more powerful than your smartphone.
Nice.
So this thing puts out its own signal?
Yes.
What?
It does connect up to 7 devices.
7?
This is awesome. I love this.
This is like next level Chevy.
Thank you guys for coming today.
Thanks for not really killing our phones.
So we talked about that 1,500 times a week that the average person checks their phone. Here's an opportunity to check yourself. So there's lots of apps that actually check how many times you check your phone. Checky is one of them. So anybody that wants to take the Checky challenge, you can download this app, right? Visit our Cox Digital Marketing Facebook page and let us know how many times a week you check your phone. So I thought for myself, I don't have a problem. I don't do that. It's not me. Downloaded the app, checked it. I checked my phone on average 123 times a day. Thought that is ridiculous. So I put an extra long password in, and so I wouldn't do it. Then I went out and bought a watch, smartwatch. So now my habit is this. So instead of checking my phone, this has become my habit. So, and this I don't even want to know how many times I look at it in a day. And I carry a tablet around all day long, so that's not password protected. That way I don't have to type in that long password. I'm a mess, I admit it. So anybody up for taking the challenge? Anybody willing to do this for us? You'll do it? You'll do it? All right. Okay. So are people addicted to their smartphones? Maybe, maybe not, right? But no matter what, I think we can all agree they're pretty vital to our daily life, what we do, right? I mean, but from a business standpoint, when you think about them, you know, in the past, it was always important to have a nice sign outside your store, right? Right? You want people to see it as they drove by. Guess what? People are already evaluating your business before they get to your location, and they're doing it through these devices. This is now the key to how I'm going to shop for you, because even if I'm thinking about you, I'm going to go online and I'm going to figure out everything I can beforehand, right? So you might think it's all millennials. This is to demonstrate to you just how strong smartphone usage is across every age group. So pick your group. Millennials, Gen Xers, baby boomers, a majority of them have a cell phone and are using their cell phone. Right now, there are 190 million smartphones in the United States. By 2018, there will be 250 million smartphones. It'll be 85% of the time spent online will be spent on a smartphone. And when you look at consumption right now, between different types of media and where time is being spent, the average person is spending over 3 hours a day on a mobile device, right? When you compare that to a desktop, that time is decreasing. And you compare it to time watching television, that time is decreasing. Search is one of the areas where you're seeing a huge increase in how people are using their smartphones, with almost 65% of the population using their phone for that. And no matter what your question, your phone's got the answer, right? You look up weather, you look up maps, how to get here, right? You shop for it. Anybody been in a store and looked at an item and said, you know what, that price seems high, and pulled out their phone and Googled it, went to Bing, went to Yahoo and said, is this price lower somewhere else, right? I'll tell you, one of the retailers that's figured that out is Walmart. Walmart, about a year ago, realized that people were starting to shop them. Now, if you go and look at them online, you'll see them look more like Amazon, and they've actually pulled in other vendors to them. And about a year ago, they announced that they were closing a significant number of their smaller stores because they realized more people were shopping online for products. So here I need some notes, so forgive me. This is going to get numbers heavy, so if you're not a numbers person, I apologize ahead of time, but I think this stuff is pertinent for you. So information is from Think Google, right? So over the past year, smartphone shopping has created a new front door for your store, right? We talked about that a little bit. Near me searches, or what's close to me, or how do I find, or nearby, have increased 34 times what they were in the past. This has become our new shopping assistant, right? We talked about showroom shopping. I mentioned that just a second ago, right? So from reviews, are reviews important to anybody? Anybody want a bad review? No, right? But people are searching to see what the reviews are for you before they come into your store and decide to do business with you. Those searches are up 82%. And how to, right? How do I do this, right? Those searches are up 91%. And when you think about the age groups, you think about millennials, 2 out of every 3 of them believe, no matter what, they can go on their phone and go to YouTube and find the answer to anything they want to figure out how to do it with. I want to learn something, my first place I'm going to go is to YouTube to watch a video.
How far back do you go when you're saying 91%?
This is over the past year.
Oh, just the past year?
Just the past year, that's the increase.
Okay.
So 8 out of 10 US smartphone users shop on their phone. The good news for right now is that less than half of them are buying on their phone. They're still going to brick and mortar to make those purchases. So my biggest takeaway for you guys is, without a doubt, those little supercomputers you have on the table or in your purse or in your pocket have changed our lives, right? They changed how we're connected to people, how we shop, how we do business, all those pieces. And it differs. Your experience is different than my experience today, right? It took me a little bit longer to get you to sit down than everybody else, right? So it's a unique experience for each of us. So when it comes to marketing to those devices, each shopper is going to be a unique experience too, right? Those happen to be micro moments that you need to reach them online. And I'm going to let Stephanie share how we attack it. You guys have more questions?
Be in phase 2. Okay. This is new for me. Okay. So when we think about mobile, we think about, at least for me, kind of that evolution in the last probably 5-6 years. So you knew that, we're all accessing smartphones. We started purchasing our first smartphones, I'll say, in the past couple of years, which was important and an exciting day, I know for myself. But they kind of looked and felt exactly like your normal desktop, laptop computer, but really small, which was fine. That worked well. So we would do stuff like conduct searches. So the same kind of stuff that you're doing on your normal desktop, laptop, you're doing on your smartphone. That was going well. You might be checking out a review. This time you can do it on the road. Very exciting, very cool. I'm on Yelp looking for coffee, if you can't read this from far away. I spent a lot of time on the road visiting customers and driving around, so I like to buzz in, check email, and things like that. And then it was only a couple of years later, and this is now pretty pervasive, but we were designing websites that were responsive. So they're built in a way where they are unique to that particular device, right? So you know how sometimes you go to a website and it looks fine here, and then you pull it up on your phone and you have to squeeze it and zoom in and optimize it. Well, this way it falls into place and it's a nice mobile experience for yourself. So this is all pretty straightforward, right? Amy set a nice table for us to look at how addicted, and I am one of those people, we are to our smartphones. But what I want to illustrate is the ways that your smartphone relationship has really changed, and now it's a totally different experience for the user. So what we want to look at is that interaction process. So we start the same way that we would any marketing campaign or journey together. We want to find out who you're trying to reach. We want to give them the right message, right time, all of that same stuff that we learned in marketing classes. But this way, you know that the person has their phone. You know that it's with them all the time. If it's your alarm clock, you're sleeping next to it, right? It's in your purse, your pocket all the time. So if we can track people down based on where they are with their phone, what kind of message could we give them that's personalized and makes them do something really specific in that moment? So we want to find out who these people are. So I like examples. So let's say you are a car dealership and you want to sell minivans. Who buys minivans? Moms. Where do moms go? Well, they go a lot of different places, but they go to schools to pick up and drop off kids and volunteer and spend time. They go to grocery stores. They go to kids' boutiques. We can kind of narrow that down and say, okay, I know who moms are. I know where they tend to go. So if we can find out where they are and where they're going, we can zero in on those specific locations and we can send ads right to their smartphones. So as this busy mom is running around doing her thing, checking her phone, because no matter how busy she is, she'll be checking her phone. We can send her a really specific advertising message that tells her, hey, I had a client, they were a smoothie store, smoothie location. So they had messages tailored toward healthy snacks. So picking the kids up from soccer practice, need a healthy snack, come on in. And right there in that close location, they were able to hop over and buy some healthy snacks from the smoothie place. Animation is always great, right? So location is the strongest indicator of intent in this specific realm. So I want to kind of back up and review and just make sure that we're all kind of looking at this the same way that I am. So with your advertising, and I call this now traditional digital, we've been able to target people behaviorally and contextually for years. So the stuff that you shop for online and your lifestyle kind of meld together. So I always use Amazon as kind of that example. We've all used Amazon. Even if I don't buy something from Amazon, it still keeps track of all of the stuff that I did shop for and shows me either that particular item or items that I might be interested in, and then follows me around. And ultimately, I usually buy it because I was shopping for it, and here it is, it's Kismet, it's following me, okay, here we go. But you want to take that a step further and say, okay, based on not just the stuff that I'm doing on my computer, on my phone, where am I? If I'm at a car dealership, I'm really serious about buying a car. So you should send me a message about your dealership if I'm on the competitor's lot to say, hey, we have better financing. Hey, we have better inventory, and get me over there. So what Amy talked about earlier with people showrooming, as we call it, I'm the best showroomer out there, I think. 3 out of 4 people are still checking their phone, looking for better, reviews, better prices, but they're still buying in the brick and mortar store. So that's good news for business owners because you can upsell them, you can develop a relationship with them. They're buying from you in the store, which is fabulous. But you want to make sure, as they're out and about shopping, showrooming, that you're giving them the best information that you can, and ultimately want to create a customer out of them. So I like how Amy brought up Walmart. So I have a personal story about this, but you'll see here, and it's kind of small, but Mike Duke is the president and CEO of Walmart. So they've clearly taken this pretty seriously, and they're looking at melding that kind of Amazon experience, if you will, because like it or not, it's a great user experience for us, and trying to make that what Walmart brings to the table. So personally, last spring, about the same time of year, I needed a new grill. I don't know much about grills, but I know that I like to grill, and I know that I needed a new one. So I kind of looked online a little bit, but I found myself in Lowe's looking for something else, and then I wandered into the grill aisle. They all look the same. They're all different prices. So I got on my phone, and I was looking up reviews to try to find the best one for my lifestyle. It's very simple. I just wanted to turn on with the knob and do it doesn't have to be fancy. So go through all of this. Meanwhile, it seems like this is, what makes this grill better than the others? Look at the reviews, I find the grill that's most suited for my lifestyle. Then I wonder if there's a better price somewhere else. And there was, and it was at Walmart. And I don't know if I'm proud of it, but I got in my car, drove to Walmart, bought that grill because it was a better price. So I feel like we can all kind of relate to those similar, we're all consumers and we're all looking for the best deal. But all of that information that was given to me, I was able to make that purchase decision for myself. So how do we do this? So I hope this is easy enough for everyone to see, but they're the blue one, right, on your right. I guess your left as you're looking at it. That's a circle, and that's a radius, and we've been able to do this for a long time technology-wise. We do it lots of people are able to do this. And it's effective. A radius is a good way to target your audience. However, you'll see this green one is kind of a blob shape. It's an amoeba. If you're trying to reach out, let's say you're a restaurant and you want to reach people in different shopping centers around because they're shopping and they're doing their thing, but they're going to get hungry. You want them to think of you first when they're going to stop and have lunch or whatever. Your shopping centers and your locations that you're targeting are not going to be in perfect radius circles. Nothing in life is. So we're actually able to kind of define that amoeba shape for you based on what you tell us and where you tell us these people are going. So if you want to only hit a residential area, that's easy. If you only want to hit a mall, that's very simple. We can do that for you. So we define that shape, and then think of it as, I like to think of it as it's stamped into the ground, or we took a highlighter out on a real map and colored it in. As someone walks into that zone, they could be targeted on their phone. But the moment they walk out, if we decide that this is how we want to do it, they're not anymore. So only when I'm, again, back to our restaurant example, in that shopping center can I be targeted. But once I leave, maybe you don't want to target me anymore, but maybe you do. So retargeting has been around for a while. So this is like the example where you're shopping for something. I always think of airline tickets. If you've ever bought airline tickets online, you buy the ticket or you don't, but you're on Kayak or whatever. You leave and go to another website and it goes, hey, if you didn't buy the ticket, flights to Tampa are only, right? And then it follows you around. Or maybe you did buy the tickets, but this time it sends you a rental car ad. You might need this other thing. So retargeting is pretty straightforward. I'm sure lots of you have tried this before, or definitely it's happened to you in your consumer lives. We can take this a step further with the mobile, and we can find people who have been in our little pocket, in our radius, in our amoeba shape, and we can retarget them on their smartphones after they leave. So an example of this, I had a client who was looking to find, they were going to a trade show, okay, and it was far, far away, it was out west. And they obviously wanted people to visit their booth at the trade show, but they were also worried because trade shows are busy and these people will see a lot of booths. They wanted to stand out, so they did a mobile precision campaign around the convention center where their booth was in this trade show, the 2 hotels where everyone would be staying, so even when you go back to stay, sleep and change your clothes and all that stuff, you might see their ad. But then they wanted to really resonate with people after they left the trade show. So they did a retargeting campaign for about 4 weeks after that was over with a different message that said, hey, don't forget, something kind of catered toward the conversation that they had had with a lot of those people at the trade show. And they were happy with the results. Any questions before I keep? Yeah.
So somehow you're capturing the phone number of this particular potential
Kind
customer?
of. So
When they were in that area?
So you've all downloaded an app at some point, right? So when you download an app, think of the things that it makes you do. It asks the questions that it prompts you on your phone, right? Do you want to enable push notifications? You say yes or no. Do you want to enable the GPS, whatever it says, GPS, yes or no? If you enable those things, that's how we can find you as a user. And you do have those people that say no, but I don't know any of them because if I didn't have my GPS on my phone, I would never find anywhere that I was supposed to be going, right? Or even just the ways that you search without that GPS enabled, your search is, so all of that kind of stuff. So we kind of get how that works when we download apps. That's the information that we're capturing. So from there, and you saw us with our technical, we're marketers, not IT people. So somehow the technology between all of those different facets does work together with the satellite, shining the kind of signal down, looking at where these people are, but it's picking up that data based on what people have opted into on their smartphone. Does that make sense?
I mean, your smartphone has a unique device ID, right?
Right.
Your desktop computer has an IP address that you log into, right? Your phone's a little bit different, so we can watch what your ID does, what apps it interacts with, what locations you've been. Say I have a coffee shop and you visit my coffee shop 3 times a week. We know that. And then as you get close to my coffee shop, we can deliver an ad that says, hey, you're 5 miles away from Amy's coffee shop. Today, there's an extra 10% off for anybody who has an Amy Rewards card.
Has worked for a long time. So direct mail, has been doing this for decades. And then as we've moved into, in the past probably 8-10 years, your behavioral targeting, the stuff you're shopping for creates a profile that's not, we don't know who you are. I don't know that Amy Hoatling is shopping for these things, but I know that somebody with this device ID is interested in these kinds of things, so I send her ads that resemble these kinds of categories. And the same kind of thing happens here, but with that heightened location element. So I always want to point this out because just generally, digital changes all the time, which is exciting and also can be its own special challenge, but we like that challenge, so it's okay. But the marketing principles behind all the stuff that we do are the same marketing principles that have worked for all of the traditional media that we've been running for a long time. You want to find the right person, you want to serve them the right message for their needs, and then you want to create a good experience for them to learn more about you, find you, come to your store, ultimately become a customer and stay a customer. So when we build these campaigns, we look at a set of goals. So do you just want brand awareness? Like I'm using a lot of national players here, and I wish I wasn't, but those are the ones that I know that we all know. McDonald's. But they're everywhere. So they tell me all the time that they have a giant Coke for $1 and they have, whatever, food, and they're not telling me to do anything right now. They're just setting the table, branding for me all the time. If that's your goal, that's one thing. Maybe the second one down, you want people to just become more interested in what it is that you're trying to offer me. We can do that, and we can do this here. Back to my mom's example. Moms tend to do certain things, go certain places. We could send her, them, and dads too. I'm thinking of like busy parents caring for small children. Send them ads tailored to their needs, to the kinds of things that your business can help them accomplish. And then finally, maybe you want a really strong measurement. Maybe you want them to fill out a form. Maybe you want them to do something on your website that sets them apart, that you know they're really serious about doing business with you. So we'll look at all those things together and come up with the right campaign and the right locations for you and try to figure that out. Part of that too, and this is one of my favorite parts about using this, is we create a custom landing page when somebody does click on that ad. So you'll see down here that, whoa! Dear. All right, I'm mobile now. Okay, this was my landline, so you were cutting it. It's a metaphor. So the ad there at the bottom is like what you would see if you opened your app on your smartphone. This is telling me it's real small, so I apologize, but this Hyundai dealer is 2.2 miles away from me. Okay, so that's like the Amy's Coffee Shop example. You're out and about, you're really close to this. If I click on this ad, it takes me to that landing page that you'll see right there. So it gives me a nice pretty header, the all new 2015 Hyundai, great. But you have a couple of options. It's very hard to see, but that top one gives me specific directions to your location. So if I click on that, it activates my GPS and I can get right over there. You know, the coffee shop, any of this is a good example for that. Your other option, that longer, you can see the little phone icon there, you can click to call. Or you can watch a short video. So if you see these people down at the bottom, that red play button, you can watch a short video about this advertiser. And then you have other options too. Maybe you want someone to fill out a form here. Maybe you want to just send them to your website as one of the options. But this gives people a softer landing place to kind of find out more about you and give them some direct actions they can take. If we just send them straight to your website, maybe that's overwhelming. If we gave them an ad for, what'd you say, the Amy's Coffee Customer Appreciation Card, we want to take them here where they can either redeem their coupon or sign up for the Amy's Coffee Customer Appreciation Card.
Question?
Of course.
Not understanding is, so you're targeting them, then you send them this ad, they click to get to a landing page. How do they open that, or what do they have to have something on their phone already, that, or does it just pop up as a message?
It doesn't pop up. That's one thing I do want to always point out. It's not a pop-up at all. This little skinny, the 3-car ad at the bottom, would appear inside an app on your phone.
What app?
Any app.
So we talked about mobile and how everybody seems to be addicted to their phones, right? On your cell phone, 80% of time on cell phone is spent inside an app. versus calling versus emailing versus texting. 80% of time is spent in app. So these are
Any app.
any app, any app, and these are banner ads that are in app.
So they're gonna come in my Facebook or my LinkedIn.
Or if you play
and
games.
It's gonna
or,
pop up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thank you.
Of course. And it won't be a pop-up like the intrusive, like those happen, right? The one that takes us to the whole screen and oh no, and you try to click and get out of it. This will be as part of whatever the content is that's already on that page at the very bottom, right? Those are like a banner, like a mobile banner at the very bottom. So.
And you click on that to go to the landing page?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
Yep. These questions are good. I like it when it's conversational. I get lonely up here. Please keep the questions and stuff going. We have a couple of case studies, and then we can kind of walk through some other stuff too. And these are from other markets, other Cox markets. So the good news is we're all friends and we all kind of share ideas. So it makes us all better and stronger. Because if I've come across something, I'm sure somebody else has in another city. So that's kind of nice that we can talk here. Here is an automotive dealership, and they're interested in pulling people in, obviously to buy cars, but that kind of secondary awareness level. They want people to come in and get oil changes and just kind of hang around the dealership, get familiar, so that when it's time to buy a car, obviously that'll hopefully be the first place you think of to go. So again, you'll see, and I to knock anything off. Here's your oil change ad. I hope it's a little clearer for you farther out than it is from me so close up here. But it's trying to pull people in with a $15.95 oil change. I got my oil changed this morning and it was not $15.95. That really would have driven me in. Once someone does click on that ad, they could end up on that page where they can click to get directions, drive the car right in right now. They can click to call if they want to and say, oh, I actually need my tires rotated. How much will that be? Or what have you. Or we could put some other options on that landing page for you. So they wanted to find shoppers and people close by. The goal is people who are out and about who need an oil change and impulse buy kind of thing and do it. And they were happy with the results, and I'm going to look at them closely because they're very, very small here. But they had high click-throughs there on that ad, a 0.59, which always sounds like a small percentage, except when you think about how many times you actually click on an ad. That was really strong. The other thing is we can measure what we call a secondary action rate on the landing page. So if you wonder how many people got to the landing page, we can tell you. If you wonder how many people clicked on the directions, we can tell you. Click to call or whatever, watched a video or whatever else that you've got on there. We can give you that too. And their secondary action rate was also high. So that's one example that I kind of like to kind of illustrate that. And then we've got some home services. So here, again, they're trying to pull people in. This is Bob's Carpet Mall. Sale ends soon. So Bob, theoretically, is targeting a fence around his stores. So you're out shopping, there's a lot of competition for local business and things like that. So he wants to be top of mind as people are out and about shopping, they come in, and then he can speak more to that sale once people get to that landing page. Traditionally, I know it's been, at least for myself, a challenge. You have such small real estate on those mobile ads. So if you know your customers close by, you know something about them, who they are, if you just give them enough to intrigue them and they click, that's why the landing page is so important. Then they can decide for themselves if they really want to take action, and most of them tend to.
Can you personalize the landing page?
Of course. We call that so do you mean, for example, let's say Bob has 3 carpet stores, one on Main Street, one on, Brown Street, one on, so if I'm close by the Main Street location and I click on his ad, it will give me that as the address? Is that what you mean?
I was thinking, dear Mike.
Yeah, we can't do that.
All you know is the number of the.
And we don't even really know that here.
We just know that they're on a mobile
Where they're
device.
at.
Yeah.
And where they are.
So an example might be, so that smoothie store that I talked about earlier, they targeted, for the moms audience, they targeted schools, children's boutiques, places like that, and they said, hey, pick up a healthy snack for your kids. They also targeted gyms, and they said, trying to lose weight, smoothies are a great way to do that. And so in that way, it was personalized based on the little message that you see, that little banner ad. And then they made the landing pages, the gym one had a fit person wearing athletic clothes, standing on it. The mom one had a woman with small children on that landing page. So you can personalize them based on the message that somebody sees. Does that answer your question?
It does. data out there that would support a small video clip versus just imagery, creative with a message versus a landing? Is there any data that says the preference is this over that?
Yes, but yes, there's data to support a whole lot of things. But I will say this, it's hard to get side-by-side comparisons usually. What I would suggest you do, and this may or may not be what everyone wants to try, but I would try A/B testing with your own campaign. So I would say maybe half the campaign, we send them to a landing page that is static, there's no video, but it does give you a nice amount of content, it's visually appealing, all of that. Then the other one has the video, has some other stuff, and see which one your audience engages with more. Because what I find, because I get that question a lot, it's so variable based on the industry, based on the target, so the comparison's hard.
It changes based on what your goals are.
Yeah.
Right? If your goal, depending on the type of your business, let's say your goal, you're in a service industry, and you want them to call to set up appointments, you don't want them taking 15 seconds to 2 minutes to watch a video. You want them to get here and make that call as quickly as possible. So your message has to be to drive phone calls. If it's something where you know the purchase cycle might be a little bit longer, I'm gonna have to make a tougher decision, I might have to be investing more money, then that video becomes more important because then that's the additional opportunity to sell them on why they need to continue to consider you in that scope as they continue to shop.
Where is the decision made on which apps you would place your ad?
We have a network of about 40,000 different apps that we work with right now.
And so it would depend on the type of customer you
Fitness and health and wellness apps. Okay, and then we'll kind of look and see what's available and if we're able to hit that. But if you're looking at like your MBA program that's a huge office building, I probably don't have enough to work with within that. So I want any and all apps, but only in this really tight radius, right? So the same would go with the pricing. If you're able to look at a larger area, you'll need more inventory to make sure that you have enough frequency. But if you're looking at a really small amount, you would need less ads. So we can talk about that together, but it's priced based on the number of thousands of ads that you purchase. Similar to other digital that you might have done. Yeah?
But it also, I know like if I'm listening to Pandora, they have local events,
Mm-hmm.
you can have a Renaissance Festival. Is that in the same network of
Pandora's not. Pandora's very private and they don't let anybody else into their network, so they only sell it themselves. So they're very unique, right?
But other similar ones.
Right.
Yeah.
You can hit other music apps, absolutely.
And I do want to point out too, everything is brand safe. So what I mean by that is it's nothing considered controversial or, right? So it'll be a lot of, I mean, we all use apps of different kinds, right? So, but sometimes that question does come up. When I say any and all apps, that's with the small caveat that nothing weird that you wouldn't want your brand associated with would be placed in there. Do you have a question?
This may be a little different question because it doesn't concern the marketing side, but it relates to the Cox app itself.
Okay.
Or your Channel 7 app.
Okay, I hope I can answer this.
Okay. I travel a lot in my line of work, and since you live stream the local news, it's always fun to kind of be somewhere else and watch what's going on in this area. In a lot of places, I get an error message saying that this is not available in the area where you're at.
Interesting.
So I used to believe that if you were on Cox's WHIO 7 app, that you would be able to watch the local news from anywhere. But there are parts of the country and the world. I mean, my travels are mostly in U.S., Canada, and a couple of countries in Western Europe. But not everywhere, even within the U.S., can you watch it, because sometimes it...
We've got a new vendor coming for our live streaming within the next 6 months, so that'll be changing for you.
That would be good.
There you go. That's good feedback.
I wanted to watch, okay, what's the weather doing here? What did the Reds do last night? And,
And we thank you for that. That's wonderful. So it looks like we'll have a good solution coming. Yeah.
Are there any restrictions to political advertising on GeoPrecise targeting?
Nope.
That and GeoPrecise works really well for political, and if anybody's ever heard of IP targeting, so this is mobile, no IP address, but we are talking about wire devices and being attached to an IP address. that works really well, because if you have a physical list of addresses and names, you know that somebody's a registered Republican or a registered Democrat or however that is, you can actually target them in their homes to those devices. So there's a lot, political, there's a lot of different ways we can get to people inexpensively.
Mm-hmm.
Can also time-based be incorporated in it.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
If you're a restaurant, you can send a message out at 10:45 a.m.
Yep.
Join us for lunch.
Mm-hmm. And then another one at 5, join us for dinner. Yep. And people do that a lot. Yep. This is
If you're
awesome.
McDonald's, you could put a geofence over any Burger King in the market and say, if the lines are too long, come see us instead. We're only 1.2 miles away or 0.3 miles away.
So you guys offer these programs, are there other, I mean, I don't want to make this about you, but are there other people that can access that too? I mean, other,
This GeoPrecise is unique to us.
is that right?
GeoPrecise is unique to us.
And you can do it anywhere, like just to speak to that about the Channel 7 app, which again, I have my fingers crossed for all of us that's better for you in the next 6 months. But this can happen anywhere in the country. We've done this in Canada. We've looked at doing this in Europe. So if that applies to you, if you have a business in another city, another state, another country, you can still target these people the same way. Everyone has smartphones, so that doesn't hold us back.
So it's device number specific, not IP number specific.
Correct.
This is the device,
So I'm one of those people who keeps my mobile data off most of the time.
Yeah,
So you can't track me, right?
we probably still can.
This is one of the reasons that I do that. The
Yeah.
other is it just sucks my battery life, but.
Sometimes, and again, I'm not the technology expert here. Sometimes it can, like if you have other stuff.
There's apps that they won't open unless I do that.
Right.
If I'm on the road or whatever.
Right.
So
And then when you do,
wonder.
we find out just enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing is, I mean, in your life, and I'm speculating, but you probably also watch TV, you also read the paper, so that's why you have to buy a lot of different kinds of marketing, because not everyone fits every single requirement. So probably won't be able to get you mobily. Yeah. This is all I've got, yeah.
So if you when you have, you let us watch your location or whatever
Mhm.
that is. So if you do just one of those, then does that send it out to a lot of other places also that are going to check your location and start sending you things separate to what you do?
I think so. Again, that's a pretty technical question, but I would say usually when you opt into one of those, it will open up the avenue to let us target you. Yeah, I'm going to say yes mostly on that question.
What if somebody doesn't want to be targeted?
Then you have to keep your locations off, like she does.
Mhm. Never download an app.
Yeah.
I know, I know, yeah, yeah.
Never use GPS.
Yes.
Right. Which is fine, and
Your phone is not usable then.
Yeah.
Own a flip phone.
Yeah, I would buy a cheaper phone. I mean, at that point, yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, everyone. This has been fun. I hope if you have other questions, we'll be kind of hanging out, but thanks.